Hi guys, welcome on my channel. Dorota Palicka, international nail artist and educator here. Today we are going to do my favorite nail shapes, and that's a coffin. I have already started some of the nails, and on the video I will show you how to correctly apply the nail form, how to prep the natural nail, how to sculpt the gel coffin enhancements. So I hope you will enjoy watching it, and if you do, like and subscribe. We're also getting almost to the 10,000 followers on my YouTube channels, and once we reach the 10,000 we will prepare something special for you. Maybe some prizes with the products I use or some training to win. So don't forget, like, subscribe and share this video. Thanks! So to do the coffin nail enhancements sculpted with the gel, we need to prepare the natural nail. First of all, I have removed the nail extensions, the previous ones, because it was almost my natural nail, so they start to curve down a little bit. You can see it on one of the other videos, how to remove the nail enhancements safely so you don't damage the natural nails, and you can see how nice and strong they are. The first step is to prepare the nail plate, and what I'm going to do is dehydrate it with the blue scrub. That's the nail dehydrator. The blue scrub works only for half an hour, so if you're a beginner and nail tech, make sure you prep your nails after a half an hour if you took longer for a full preparation. I do that before I start any filing to make sure I remove any oils which are on the nail plate. Sometimes clients comes in after they wash their hairs, or they are hairdressers and they have had really busy day in work, or they apply a hand cream on. So I make sure I remove any oils which are on the nail plate before I start doing any filing. If I wouldn't remove it, I would kind of wrap in those oils on the nail plate. So this is a really important tip for you. Dehydrate the nail plate before you start any filing. For natural nails, I always use a grit 180, and that gives me a really nice adhesion of the gels. So at the same time, I don't damage the nail plate because it's not too rough. I'm etching the nail with the nail growth, which is down the way, so it's like almost like a fish scales. If you would tap it this way, you are not going to hurt it, and if you're going against the hair grow, against the keratin cells grow, then you kind of lifting the scales up, and this is not good. This is damaging to the nail. So after I have removed any shine from the nail, I can remove the dust. And then I will dehydrate it again. This way I don't get any lifting, since quite often I get away with my with my nails for even 8 weeks with no problem. We will be using the Nail Perfect sculpting forms. And because I've got really high side walls, high nail folds, you can see I need to cut the form really well. And also there is a little high hyponychium, not as much as on my index finger, but I still need to cut the place for hyponychium too. I apply the sticker on the back, and then I prep my form. The tile-let way, again, you can watch it in my other videos how to do that. So right now I'm just preparing the form for my nail folds. Otherwise I cannot pinch nice, and I want to really show you how to pinch good as well. And then just a tiny one for a hyponychium. Once I have cut my form, I can pre-pinch it in between my fingers. And then apply the nail form. Make sure it goes nice and straight. And then pinch it a little bit. Once you're happy with the application, you can prime your nail. And I'm using an extra dehydrator with the brush. And then the universal air bond. And I love the universal air bond just because you don't need to cure it in a lamp, and that saves lots of time. We only apply it on the natural nail, so if you're doing an enhancement on the tips, you will apply it on the natural nail plate and not on the tip, because that will cause the breakage. Then using the Sculpting gel crystal, that's the LED one. It's brilliant because it cures only in 30 seconds. For my brush prep, I take a little bit of the UV cleanser and I store them always away from any dust. And we're also needing some pinching clamps. They're amazing, nice and strong, and also clear so the light can go through them. Very important, especially when doing the gels. I applied the first layer really nice and thin, almost like a nail polish on the entire nail plate. And then I will extend the nail. So when applying the gel, you can see I'm working one side, other side, and then I'm dragging the product down the way. This way I don't create as many air bubbles. The forms are quite nice because it shows me where to apply my product for a nice coffin shape. With the clear, I always go a little bit more, like I apply always a little bit longer and a little bit more product on the sides as well. And then when I will be applying the pink gel, I will only concentrate where I want my shape. I check the length, that's a tiny bit more. And then once my clear gel is on, I can cure it. I will do a 10-second flash cure. So 10 seconds only. The gel cures in 30 seconds, but we want to do the 10 seconds so we can pinch it really nice stick-off. That's the 10 seconds gone. Before I apply the pinching clamp, I will go and check it. Yes, that's nicely cured. You can hear the tapping, and now I can apply the pinching clamp. Once it's on, I can do the full cure, which is 30 seconds. Always close your tabs so it doesn't cure your product. And then another product we're going to use is a Sculpting LED UV gel and cover pink. That's what I've got on my nails. So clean my brush again into the nice tip, and I like those brushes because they've got those tips, so you really precise around your cuticle area, and then the product doesn't run over the cuticles. So, well, I've got a wee bit of something there. That's it. Now, the reason why I touched it with my nails was because it's a nail enhancement. I'm not transferring any oils. You can't do it with your natural nail, because then you will transfer the oils. So I'm going to rest my hand, there we are, so you can see it better. And I will apply a very thin layer of the Sculpting pink gel. What it will do is it will give me a really nice application around the cuticle area, and I quite like when you do the blending around the lunula as well. It gives a really more natural results, especially for a French look. So nice and thin layer to start off, just dragging the product down the way, nice and thin. And then once I'm happy with the first layer, I can pick up like a large amount of the product and build up my apex. So I'm starting just below the cuticle, and I will massage the product down the way. One side, other side, one side, other side. you can see I'm leaving the gaps on the sides, and the reason for it is because the gels usually self-level. I don't want to go too close to the cuticles. We have done 2 layers of the product previously, a clear layer and then the cover layer. So I've got some products on the side, and now I'm just concentrating on the spine of my nail enhancements, and then I will touch up the sides and the other side. And what you see, you can see that the gel starts spreading on the side, so I will just have a perfect amount of the product on the sides of the nails. And then once I'm happy with it, I can cure it. This time we're doing only a 15 seconds cure. The gel, the LED cover gel cures in 30 seconds as well, but because it's highly pigmented, I give those extra seconds before I pinch. And then I can apply the pinching clamp again on my nail enhancements, just to get a really deep C-curve, and do a full cure. When I take off the nail from the lamp, I will be checking for a nail structure, if it's correct, and do I need to add a little bit more product somewhere. And it's better to do it now rather than when you've got a little bit more product is better, because you can just finish it off shaping with your file, rather than having not enough. So that's my nail cure. I can remove the clamp, check the side view both ways. Okay, I'm just missing a little bit more on my apex, and I'm going to add this product now. Also, I can smooth out the shape as well, just so I've got less filing later on. So a tiny bit more product on my apex, and I'm going to nicely massage this in. Blended it all well. The longer you will play with your gel, the less filing you will have, really. Of course, you have to take into the consideration the temperatures in your salon. The warmer it is, the less time you've got, just because the gel is more runny. So once I'm happy with it, I can put it back into the lamp, do a flash cure, remove the form, and then pinch again. All those pinching, but I want a really nice C-curve. This way the nails looks much thinner, and they also last me longer as well. They're more resistant for the for any kind of damage or a breakage. Usually I explain it to my students on a piece of paper, and I can quickly show it to you here as well. So if the piece of paper is straight like a nails, then it's not strong enough, and then if we roll it in really well like a deep C-curve, then we can kill the fly with it. So it's nice and strong with the C-curve. That's my nail cure. I can remove the form. And then I will apply the pinching clamp from underneath, so you can see it already how nicely pinch. What a beautiful pinch we have managed to get. And you can apply it this way as well. So we wouldn't pinch at the pinch at the nail plate, only underneath. If your clamps are jumping out, what you need to do is, because the gel is slidey, you would either take a tiny bit of the glue scrub and remove the excess of the inhibition layer just on the sides, or you can just take a file and give a little bit of scratches to your pinching clamp, so this way it's not sliding from the nails. Okay, I can cure it now. Actually, I'm glad when the things are happening during the videos, because then I can show you all the tips I'm using when the things are happening, rather than just going everything perfect and then you might struggle with some things. So I give it 30 seconds cure, then I will remove the inhibition layer. Who knows how many % of the gel doesn't cure? You can write me that in the comments, and I will answer for this question as well. I actually wonder how many of you know how many % of the gels never cures. So I can remove the clamp now, and that's the beautiful pinch. You can see it again. Okay, and this view. And I can remove the inhibition layer. So the certain percentage, my English, percentage, oh my gosh, this is so bad. Doesn't matter. The percentage of the gel which never cures. Yeah, I'm removing that. So, and we can start filing the desired shape. First of all, I will just remove the clear gel from the edges of the nail. So because it was only a tiny, thin amount, it is taking a very short time. And by removing those edges, you can already see how nice shape we are getting, and it doesn't take a really long time. My next step with filing is to, I just check the length. Yeah, we're almost there. So my next step will be to file around the cuticle area. I want the product to be nicely blended and like really nicely blended in. If there is any jumps or any product you can touch with your fingers, the clients are going to feel it, and that is also easier for any lifting. But if you blend the product really well, they are going to last you ages, like ages, basically till they almost grow out. So nice blend around the cuticle area. By the cuticle area, we mean this place here, but also on the sides as well. You want to make sure the product is nicely blended. So that's the cuticle done. My next step will be to smooth out and to correct my apex. So I need to remove the excess of the product I've got here and here on the side walls. One side, other side. You have to constantly checking the shape so you don't remove too much, so you don't overfile the nail. So I'm filing the sides. And then I'm going to file this whole surface of the nail without touching my apex. It's mainly just to straighten up the nail a little bit. I check my concave and convex. Make sure your hairline is really nice. Just a little bit too prominent, the apex, so I'm going to take it down a little bit. And I like this structure of the nail because they look extremely thin at the ends and at the sides, like it looks nice and thin. But if I would open it up, it would like have lots of product in, which gives a strength and is resistant to the breakage. I check my hairline view, nice. Make sure the side walls are parallel to each other. Just a nail shaping, and it takes so long. That's why I wanted to show you only on the one nail, but that's how I do all of my nails. And we are almost done. I quite also like to take this view, and this way I can file those places here at the side walls. This is always exchanging the look of the nail a lot, so I touch up those places here and here. And we're almost done. Okay, my next step will be to take a buffer, and I love those buffers because they're really really great and efficient. And I'm just buffing the entire nail. So you buff this nail till you're really happy, and then we will be able to go into the next step. I will just finish buffing those nails quickly. After all the nails are buffed, I can do the cuticle work. So I put my drill on. Put the reverse. Front again. Remove the dust, and then we can apply the amazing glamour. So I remove the dust, use a tiny bit of the blue scrub, and the glamour we're going to use from the indigo. It's amazing powder. It gives those absolutely shiny pearly look. Oh, I think that's a brand new one, so there we are. I need to open it. Don't use your nails as a tools. There we are. It's a very fine pigment, and we have to apply it on top of the no wipe top coat. So I apply it nice. Very close to the cuticle. The optimal results for the pigment to work is 60 seconds cure and an LED light. Make sure your top coat is applied really nice and there is no dust bits. I can see there is one bit of dust here. If you get those kind of tiny bits of the dust, it is going to show when you apply the pigment later on. So I'm just taking away the bits of the dust. That's the choice. I suggest, like, when you've got the dust extraction, it's good to put it on. That will remove any dust, flying dust you've got on. And then now I can cure it. It has to be, remember, exactly 60 seconds cure for the powder to work. Now, another tip, the longer nails you've got, the more difficult it is to grab the pigment from the pot. So I'm always putting it on the lid, and then I can use my finger to rub it in. You could also use the eyeshadow applicator to rub this in. I find that my fingers give me pretty good results because you have to rub it in, make sure like there is no extra pigment left. This way you will definitely get the nicer glam results. So I still have to wait a couple more seconds for my nail to cure. And then we will be able to apply this amazing powder. So it looks like a little pearls, nice and shiny. That's the 60 seconds gone. And then we just rub this in. rub in, rub in. Now you can see I'm starting getting like an almost mirror effect. There are still tiny bits of the pigments left, so I have to rub them in really, really well. I find that the longer I rub, the more shiny effect I get. So I will keep rubbing, rubbing, rubbing. And basically all I have to do now is I have to repeat this move on all of the other nails. That's it, almost there. So I will remove the remaining of the pigment with a gentle brush. You don't do any scratches. How shiny is that? And then again with my finger I will go and rub it in. So this way there is no micro bits of the pigment left, and when you will apply the top coat you are not going to make it kind of grainy looking. You don't want that. So you can see how smooth your face is. And the good tip for you for the pigments you don't wear off is take your nail file and touch it with your files, because obviously we are so used to cupping the free edge. That's when we apply the top coat, we're cupping the free edge as well, and then the pigment is rubbed in at the free edge. And using the Universal Air Bond, which is a nail primer, I'm going to touch up those ends just to get rid of the remaining powder. That will give me a really long lasting results when it comes to the crumbs. And then apply the top coat on the entire nail, just to secure the pigment. Again, make sure the top coat is applied really nice and neat and there is no bits and pieces of the dust, so you get a nice results. Okay, I have to cure this one, but what I will do is I will cure this one, then finish applying the pigment on the rest of my nails, and then we will come back sticking the crystals on. I have applied glamour on all of the nails. Also I have put the crystals on just to save you time watching it. So the glamour is on. Our next step to apply the crystals is to buff the glamour, the top coat, which we have applied on. And then this way, like, the crystals last really nice and long time on me. Remove any dust which is on the nails. I quite like to clean it with the blue scrub as well, which is a nail dehydrator. That's the one I use. And then using the brush on nail glue, I will stick my crystals in. Guess how many crystals I've got on? I have just quickly added them up, and it is almost 300 crystals on those nails. So I've got larger crystals and I'm just going to stick them all in. Make sure they line up nice, especially with the coffin shape, like you want them to meet right in the middle of the end. So nice, and you have to really take your time applying those crystals, and just so they're really nice and straight, otherwise the effect doesn't look as nice. And the good tip which I can give you as well, don't put too much glue, because later on it will be visible when you will top coat it, because you want to secure everything with the top coat, and of course we want to get the shine back from the glamour as well. So I'm applying another line and like drawing my middle, which is there. Shaking the crystals so they just line up nice. And this way they are much easier to pick up. And the last couple. Now when you're getting to the end, it is really important that you measure. What I'm doing now, I'm kind of squishing my crystals, because I can see I should be able to squeeze 2 more. If you see that you wouldn't have enough room, you can spread them before the glue sets, because once the glue sets, that's it, it's too late. At the end, that's the crystals which tends to come off the quickest, so I'm just adding another dot of the glue, and then I'm securing my last one. This moment is pretty tricky as well because the glue is not set, and what it can happen sometimes that the gems can start to run on one or the other side. So you can see here I have applied just one rows of the crystals, and here we've got the larger ones in the middle and then the 2 rows of the smaller ones on the sides, and that's how they look in full. Here the glue is start drying, so I will be able to apply the top coat, and I show you guys how to do that as well. But in meantime, you can also go to my other videos on the YouTube, and you can see how to paint the back of the nails as well. That's something what I've been wearing for the last 2-3 years time. I really love to have the painted underneath as well. And in this video you will see the examples of the different sets done with the painted back. So my glue is dry, and what I'm basically doing is just applying the top coat. So around the crystals, but not on top of the crystals. Make sure you cut the free edge, especially the one which is at the end. And you really have to wait for the glue to dry completely. I have seen it, I have moved the last crystal, which means my glue didn't dry up yet. And this is not good because you can damage the top coat first and the brush from your top coat, but also the crystals might be not secure as it should be. I will test it, hope it will last me well, because we are just going to travel now. So I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. That's a nice matching set to the bracelet, to the jumper, and to the other stuff of the Swarovski crystals I've got. So thanks for watching, guys. Bye!